tournament?
Great, excited. This is the best part of the season, and can't wait to get down to Nashville and go to work.
Kentucky fans aren't used to being the opening act. Last time you played LSU, they jumped out on you early. How have you been able to kind of leverage that to speak to the importance of getting off to a good start?
Well, it's been a goal of ours the entire season, with some success and some not so much success. But I think our guys understand that what a priority, especially in tournament play, that we from the opening tip that we have the highest level of intensity, especially on the defensive end. So I think that'll be important in the game tomorrow.
Knowing you're going to play that early game for as long as you play this week, do you change up the routine at all? I mean, obviously you guys have played noon games in the past, but do you change up the schedule?
Yeah, so we've recreated the schedule. It's just what we always do, trying to recreate the schedule. So we've had film at the same time. We'll have film tomorrow morning. We'll start practice at exactly the same time we tip off tomorrow. Did pregame just to kind of keep that whole routine the same, just to do the most we can to get the guys' clocks adjusted.
Coach, speaking of schedule, you guys are the only Wednesday team at the SEC tournament not taking advantage of that open practice time at Bridgestone Arena. What was the reason behind that?
We just wanted to reproduce the schedule of the day the best we could, and so we couldn't do that with our slotted time there, and so it also recreates our normal travel schedule. So we're just trying to have our day before the game be as close in proximity to what we'll face tomorrow as we can.
With the postseason starting, you obviously have a national champion, a guy who's been to a Final Four, the guys who came back from last season's team, obviously went to the second week of the tournament. What can you get from all that postseason winning experience?
Well, guys have just experienced it. I mean, experience is good if you win, and it's not if you lose. So it's we do have some veteran guys that it's not going to be a brand new experience to walk into a neutral site and play in sudden death tournaments, like one and done tournaments. So it's good to have that, but at the end of the day, it just matters how you play.
Just going off that, is there anything that you learned from going through the SEC tournament process last year? I know it's new matchups, new teams and stuff, but just through like the machinations of that, anything that you took away that maybe you're looking to apply to this year's event?
Just it's postseason play, so it's a beautiful thing that if you earn your right to play 24 hours later, you get to do it, and then if you earn the right again, you get to do it, and so this is just the beauty of the immediate feedback every single day.
Mark, when you mentioned fatigue this late in the year, it's easy for people to push back on that. March, this is when great players play a lot of minutes, they push through it. With all the workload data that you've accumulated over the years, how are you planning to maybe tweak that to make sure that your best guys are?
Well, we'll do the best we can. It's not, we talked about this yesterday. If fatigue wasn't a factor, then everyone would play 5 players for 200 minutes, right? You'd play everybody 40 minutes. It just doesn't work that way. And so everybody has a different tolerance for minutes. As you study guys, you see where their production starts to go down. So what we'd like to do is we'd like to do the very best we can, and it's affected by all kind of things, fouls and rotations and matchups and everything else. But we'd like to do the very best that we can to spread the minutes out the most we possibly can and be as competitive as we can. It's the same thing as when you go into every single game.
Mark, the fact that you played at Bridgestone this year, I mean, obviously you didn't get the result you wanted last time, but does that help that you guys at least already know, like, the venue? And you don't hear a lot about guys, like, getting the sight line.
Yeah.
Going somewhere that late. You guys at least done that.
I don't know how much it helps. I think it maybe it helps a little bit, but right now, we've played at a lot of venues for the first time this year, and we've won venues we played the first time, and we've lost at venues we've played the second time, and so I don't know that there's a huge correlation. I think it comes down to right now is our commitment to each other, our competitiveness, our fight, and how well we play. It's a beautiful thing about the postseason is there's no judges out there. You just have a winner and a loser, and it's very clear, and it says it on a scoreboard, and so we don't need to overcomplicate it. We just need to go play great.
You had mentioned last night about Cam getting close and getting some more limited reps in practice. I guess, what does that still look like for him, and what kind of actionable benchmarks needs to be achieved for him in practice before you feel comfortable putting him back in the rotation and potentially playing him in a game?
It's not so much in practice as the day after. So he practiced a little bit yesterday. He's in a boot this morning. So it just is a matter of how he can get through it. Of course, we would love to have some playing time, in-game playing time for him to get back a rhythm and do those things. If we get a chance to play him, it'll just be a little bit of a mystery to him and to us in terms of how quickly he's going to shake off the rust. But mostly it's just how his foot responds, which is that's exactly what you'd expect with this type of surgery and this type of recovery, is that you're going to get some time on the court and then you're going to have some response where there's real soreness and pain. And so he's exactly where he's supposed to be in terms of recovery.
Is there any chance he could play tomorrow?
Yeah, there is. I don't know. I mean, we'll see how his foot responds, this evening and tomorrow. I think he's somewhere in the vicinity of could play or could not play, and we'll just see how that goes.
Mark, how do you come down on, like, maybe the doctors have what they say, but if a guy just says, Coach, I want to give it a go, would you say fine, or do you really like, no, like, I can't let you do that because I would feel?
It depends. It depends on the injury. So if there's injuries that are just a pain tolerance injury where you're going to have a little more latitude, but there's also injuries where you could do significant further damage, where sometimes we have to step in and say, hey, it's just not. We're not going to put you out there. So it depends on what the injury is.
It seems like that teams have discovered that if they leave Colin open, bad things are going to happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
What does he need to do? What is your next chess move, without giving away
Yeah.
specifics of what you need to do in order to make him more impactful on offense?
Yeah, it's a process that everybody goes through. Everybody goes through the process. If you're fortunate, if you play well, you go through the process of moving up the priorities on a scouting report, and it changes everything about your experience. And so there's a learning curve and a learning process about when teams when your gravity increases, which Colin's gravity, he's earned the right to have his gravity increase massively, then it changes the way you find opportunities, how you find opportunities. So you can approach it a lot of different ways. One is incorporating different skills and reads and how you attack actions. Two is schematically trying to come up with different ways to do it. And three is adding to your game where you can punish teams in different ways. So and then fourth is like, it's just the evolution of great shooters, is that you end up getting comfortable taking even harder shots sometimes, right? And so it's a growth process. Everybody goes through it if you earn it. There's not that many people that earn it, but he certainly earned the right to be one of the top guys on the scout, and he's proven that he's a growth mindseted young man that's going to continue to find answers, so he will.
Did you see something happen similar with Kobe last season, and is that maybe part of what led to his kind of mid-range at the end of the season?
Yeah, and Kobe came into our program as the most efficient offensive player in the country, really making threes, but was coming off the bench most of the season at Dayton, and so he was doing it in that role. And he came here and started making shots early, and then there was he probably got to. He put on a show on our very first SEC game last year against Florida, and so he had to work through that and really grew. And by the end of the season, in fact, in our game to go to the Sweet 16 against Illinois, where he was just so devastating from the mid-range and to the rim. That was a season-long process of him growing and understanding how he could reattack the changing coverages that he was seeing. So it's a fun process to go through.
You have a posting for a player development job up right now that ends this week. Can you kind of explain in some detail what you're thinking about that position?
Yeah, really important position for us. It's a back office position. Somebody that can model for us 24/7. They can do salary cap models. They can do win share models. They can do comparison research in terms of us trying to have some just get as deep into the details of managing this spring's roster construction as we can. It's really important to have somebody that literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week is going to be war gaming and modeling over and over and over again. And so we're excited about filling that position. It's going to really help us as a staff collect information.
Are you kind of in place before the portal opens?
I'd like to have it in place today.
Is this something that,
I'm not legally allowed to have it in place today because
Until Saturday.
it's got to close. Yeah.
is this position something that you identified, like, throughout the course of this season that you would like to add to the staff, or something that maybe even last portal season, you're like, oh wait, we would like to have someone in this role because it would fill a need?
Yeah, with the changing dynamics, this is not the final piece that we'll add. This is a piece that's going to make a big difference for us in our information gathering and our analysis of data. Like it's going to be massively important for us to make the best educated guesses that we can. And so this is something that we've been playing with, just trying to find the right time and exactly the right description of the job where we could understand exactly the window of what we wanted. And I think we're there right now. I think we have some elite level applicants that will fill this little niche position perfectly. So I'm excited to get through the process and get this person in-house and have them grind away,
Anything you want to say to the fans who have saved their money, planned their
Yeah.
vacations for this week down here?
Well, listen, again this year, Deb, we had the most in-house, the highest in-house attendance of any program in the country, right? 350 some odd thousand people in attendance at our home games. BBN is incredible. For a season as dramatic as we've had this year, for BBN to keep showing up more than any fan base in the country it's incredible. It's breathtaking, and so I would say bring it. We couldn't be more excited. I hope they're excited, and let's try and go make some history, and we'll do it together. It's this relationship between us and this fan base is extraordinary, and we're really blessed that we all get to do this together and share this together, share the great times and the challenging times, the doubtful times, and the elite championship times. We get to do it all together, and it's pretty special. It's what makes Kentucky. It's the thing that makes Kentucky different than anywhere else in all of sports. And so come on, guys, let's stay on this ride together. All right, thanks, guys.